Imagine waking up one day and realizing you're living the life of your dreams. You're confident, successful, and truly happy. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you that this isn't just a fantasy, but something you can actually achieve? The secret lies in a powerful principle that has the ability to completely transform your life. It's not about learning new skills or following a strict routine. It's about something much deeper, changing who you are from the inside out. You've probably tried to change yourself before. Maybe you've set New Year's resolutions, started new diets, or promised yourself you'd finally get that dream job. But time and time again, you've found yourself right back where you started. Why does this happen? The answer is simple, yet profound. You can't create lasting change on the outside without first changing on the inside. Think about it like this. If you want to become a millionaire, you need to think and act like a millionaire first. If you keep thinking and behaving like someone who's always broke, no amount of money-making schemes will work in the long run. This is the essence of what we call the mirror principle. The idea that your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world. So, what exactly is this inner world I'm talking about? It's your thoughts, beliefs, and the way you see yourself and the world around you. It's like a mirror that reflects back to you in your everyday life. If you believe you're not good enough, guess what? The world will keep showing you situations that prove you right. But here's the exciting part. If you can change that inner mirror, you can change everything else. Let's say you've always struggled with confidence. You avoid speaking up in meetings, you hesitate to apply for better jobs, and you settle for less in your relationships. These are all reflections of your inner belief that you're not worthy or capable. But what if you could change that belief? What if you could see yourself as confident, capable, and deserving of great things? That's when the magic starts to happen. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you step by step. The first thing to understand is that this isn't about putting on a fake smile and pretending everything's great. It's about genuinely shifting your inner world. Let's go back to our confidence example. Instead of focusing on all the times you felt insecure or inadequate, start paying attention to the times when you did feel confident, even if they were small moments. Maybe you helped a coworker solve a problem, or you cooked a great meal for your family. These might seem like tiny things, but they're actually powerful evidence that you are capable and valuable. The more you focus on these positive aspects of yourself, the more your inner mirror starts to change. And here's where it gets really interesting. As your inner mirror changes, your outer world has no choice but to follow suit. You might find yourself speaking up more at work, taking on new challenges, and attracting people who appreciate your newfound confidence. Now, here's a common trap that many people fall into. They start to see some positive changes in their lives, but then they hit a rough patch. Maybe they make a mistake at work or have an argument with a friend. Suddenly, all those old insecurities come rushing back, and they think, see, I knew I couldn't really change. But here's the thing. This is just your old reflection trying to reassert itself. It's like ripples in a pond. Even when you throw in a new stone, your new beliefs, the old ripples, your old patterns, don't disappear instantly. The key is to keep focusing on the new image you want to create, even when the old reflection seems to be fighting back. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. At first, you wobble and maybe even fall a few times. But you don't give up and decide you're just not meant to ride a bike, do you? No, you keep getting back on, keep practicing, and eventually, it becomes second nature. Changing your inner world works the same way. One of the most important things to understand about the mirror principle is that there's often a delay between changing your inner world and seeing results in your outer world. This is where a lot of people give up. They start thinking more positively, they work on their self-image, but they don't see instant results, so they assume it's not working. But here's the truth. Change takes time. Your current reality is the result of thoughts and beliefs you've held for years, maybe even decades. You can't expect to undo all of that overnight. It's like planting a seed. You don't see the plant the very next day, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Under the surface, roots are growing, preparing for the plant to sprout. In the same way, when you start changing your inner world, things are happening even if you can't see them yet. Maybe you're becoming more aware of opportunities you would have missed before. Maybe you're handling stress better, even if your circumstances haven't changed yet. These are all signs that your new inner reality is taking root. The key is to trust the process and keep going, even when you don't see immediate results. Remember, you're not just trying to change one specific thing in your life. You're transforming your entire way of being. That's big, powerful stuff, and it doesn't happen instantly. Now, let's talk about a crucial aspect of the mirror principle: making sure your thoughts align with what you actually want. This might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how often we sabotage ourselves without even realizing it. For example, let's say you want to start a successful business. You might spend hours working on your business plan, networking, and trying to get funding. But if deep down you're constantly thinking, "This is too hard. I'm not cut out for this. What if I fail?" Guess what kind of reflection you're creating? You're setting yourself up for struggle and possibly even failure. Instead, you need to align your thoughts with your goal. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It means focusing on thoughts like, "I'm learning and growing every day. I have what it takes to make this work. Every challenge is teaching me something valuable." When you do this, you start to approach your goal differently. You become more resilient in the face of setbacks. You start noticing opportunities you might have missed before. And most importantly, you start taking actions that actually move you toward your goal, rather than sabotaging yourself out of fear. One of the most powerful tools you have in changing your inner world is gratitude. Now, I know you've probably heard about gratitude before. Maybe you've even tried keeping a gratitude journal. But I want you to understand why gratitude is so powerful when it comes to the mirror principle. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're literally training your brain to notice the positive aspects of your life. Remember, the mirror of reality doesn't just reflect your conscious thoughts. It reflects your overall focus and attitude. So when you make gratitude a habit, you're shifting your entire focus towards the positive. Let's say you want to improve your financial situation. Instead of constantly thinking about what you lack, start appreciating what you already have. Maybe you're grateful for the roof over your head, or the fact that you have food on your table every day. Maybe you're thankful for your skills that allow you to earn money, even if it's not as much as you'd like right now. As you do this, something interesting starts to happen. You begin to feel more abundant, even if your actual financial situation hasn't changed yet. And from this place of feeling abundant, you're much more likely to notice opportunities, take positive action, and actually improve your financial situation. Now, let's address something that trips up a lot of people when they try to apply the mirror principle. You might look at your current reality and think, "But everything in my life is showing me negative stuff. How am I supposed to change my inner world when my outer world keeps confirming my negative beliefs?" This is what I call the cycle of negative reflection, and it can be tough to break. But here's the key. You have to understand that your current reality is just a reflection of your past thoughts and beliefs. It's not a prediction of your future, unless you keep focusing on it and reinforcing those old patterns. Breaking this cycle starts with a decision. You have to decide that you're going to focus on what you want to create, not on what's currently in front of you. This doesn't mean denying your current reality or pretending everything's perfect. It means choosing to put your energy and attention on where you want to go, rather than where you've been. Let's say you're in a job you don't like. Every day, you go to work and everything around you seems to confirm that you're stuck in a bad situation. But instead of letting that reinforce your negative beliefs, you can choose to focus on the kind of job you do want. Imagine how it would feel to wake up excited about going to work. Picture yourself doing tasks you enjoy, working with people you like. As you do this, you're creating a new image in your inner mirror. And remember, the outer world has to catch up eventually. You might start noticing job openings you would have missed before. You might find yourself performing better in your current job, opening up new opportunities. Or you might get an idea for a completely different career path you never considered before. Now, let's talk about how the mirror principle applies to your relationships. This is an area where many people struggle, but it's also where you can see some of the most profound changes when you apply this principle. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to always end up in the same type of bad relationship over and over again? or how others seem to constantly have conflicts with coworkers or friends. This is the mirror principle in action. The common factor in all of your relationships is you, and the way people treat you is often a reflection of how you see yourself. If you believe deep down that you don't deserve love or respect, you'll often attract people who reinforce that belief. You might find yourself putting up with behavior you know isn't right, or constantly feeling like you have to prove your worth to others. This isn't because you're doing anything wrong on the outside. It's because of the image you're projecting from within. So how do you change this? It starts with changing your relationship with yourself. Start treating yourself with the love and respect you want from others. This might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to it. But remember, you're creating a new reflection. Practice speaking kindly to yourself, even when you make mistakes. Set boundaries that honor your own needs and feelings. Spend time doing things that make you feel good about yourself. As you do this, you're changing the image in your inner mirror. And guess what? The world around you will start to reflect that change. You might notice that people start treating you with more respect. You might find yourself naturally drawn to healthier relationships. And in your existing relationships, you might find that dynamics start to shift in a positive way. All because you changed the reflection you were putting out into the world. Now, I want to address something important. Some people hear about the mirror principle and think it means they can just sit around thinking positive thoughts and their whole life will change. But that's not how it works. The mirror principle is powerful, but it's not magic. It still requires action on your part. Think of it this way. Changing your inner world is like changing the direction of a huge ship. You can turn the wheel, but the ship doesn't instantly change course. It takes time, and it requires consistent effort to maintain that new direction. In practical terms, this means that while you're working on changing your inner beliefs and focus, you also need to take actions that align with your new direction. If you want to become healthier, changing your inner image is crucial, but you also need to make healthier choices in your day-to-day life. If you want to advance in your career, believing in your abilities is essential, but you also need to put in the work, learn new skills, and take on challenges. The beautiful thing is, when you've done the inner work, taking action becomes so much easier. Instead of feeling like you're forcing yourself to do things, you'll find yourself naturally drawn towards actions that align with your new self-image. And because you're coming from a place of self-belief and positive expectation, you're much more likely to persist even when faced with challenges. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner world, but it's not an instant reflection. It's more like an echo. You put out a new signal, and it takes time for the echo to come back. But if you keep putting out that signal consistently, through both your thoughts and your actions, the echo will come back louder and clearer every time. As we wrap up this exploration of the mirror principle, I want to emphasize something crucial. This is a journey, not a destination. Changing your inner world, and consequently your outer world, is not something you do once and then you're done. It's an ongoing process of growth and evolution. You might have moments where everything clicks and you feel on top of the world. You might also have moments where you slip back into old patterns and wonder if anything has really changed. Both of these experiences are normal and part of the process. The key is to keep going, to treat each experience, good or bad, as feedback that helps you refine your inner image. Think of yourself as an artist, constantly refining and improving your self-portrait. Sometimes you might not like what you see, but instead of getting discouraged, you can see it as an opportunity to add new details, to bring more light and color to the picture. Every day, with every thought and action, you're adding new brushstrokes to this portrait. And here's the most exciting part. There's no limit to how much you can change and grow. The person you are today doesn't have to be the person you are tomorrow, next year, or 10 years from now. You have the power to continually evolve, to keep expanding your vision of what's possible for you. So I encourage you to embrace this journey of transformation. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem, and keep refining that inner image. Remember, the mirror of reality is always reflecting back to you. As you change your inner world, you're literally changing everything. Let's dive into the first big step on your journey of transformation, becoming truly aware of yourself. Now, you might be thinking, of course I'm aware of myself. But here's the thing. Most of us go through life on autopilot, not really paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It's like we're watching our life happen instead of actively living it. So, what does real self-awareness look like? It's about becoming the observer of your own mind. It's noticing your thoughts without getting caught up in them. It's recognizing your emotions without being controlled by them. And it's understanding your behaviors and where they come from. Let's start with a simple exercise. Right now, as you're reading this, take a moment to notice your thoughts. What's going on in your head? Are you fully focused on these words? Or is your mind wandering to your to-do list or what you're going to have for dinner? Don't judge whatever you notice. Just observe it. This is the beginning of self-awareness. Now, you might be wondering why this is so important. Well, think about it like this. If you don't know where you are, how can you figure out how to get where you want to go? Self-awareness is like your internal GPS. It helps you understand your starting point so you can chart a course to your destination. One of the best tools for developing self-awareness is journaling. Don't worry, you don't need to write pages and pages every day. Even just a few minutes of honest reflection can make a big difference. Try asking yourself questions like, what made me happy today? What stressed me out? How did I react when things didn't go my way? Over time, you'll start to see patterns in your thoughts and behaviors. Another powerful technique is meditation. Now, I know meditation can seem intimidating if you've never tried it before, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Start with just 5 minutes a day of sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, that's normal. Gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple practice can dramatically increase your self-awareness over time. As you become more self-aware, you might notice some things about yourself that you don't like. Maybe you realize you have a habit of negative self-talk, or that you often react with anger when you're feeling insecure. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They see these things and think, well, that's just who I am. But remember, awareness is the first step to change. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. The goal isn't to judge yourself or beat yourself up over what you discover. Instead, approach your self-awareness journey with curiosity and compassion. You're simply gathering information about yourself, like a scientist studying a fascinating subject. This information is the foundation for all the changes you're going to make. Now that you've started to become more aware of yourself, it's time for the next crucial step, letting go. This might sound simple, but it's often one of the hardest parts of personal transformation. We humans tend to hold on to things, beliefs, habits, grudges, even physical stuff, long after they've stopped serving us. Think about your life like a garden. To grow beautiful flowers, you need to pull out the weeds. These weeds are the old beliefs, habits, and patterns that are holding you back. Maybe it's the belief that you're not good enough, or the habit of procrastination, or the pattern of getting into unhealthy relationships. Whatever your weeds are, it's time to start pulling them out. One of the most powerful things you can let go of is your attachment to your past self. Many of us define ourselves by our past experiences and mistakes. We think, this is just who I am because of what happened to me. But here's the liberating truth. You are not your past. You are who you choose to be in this moment, and in the next moment, and the moment after that. Letting go often involves forgiveness, both of others and of yourself. Holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. It only hurts you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay, or that you have to let that person back into your life. It just means you're choosing to release the negative energy you've been carrying. A practical exercise for letting go is the release ritual. Write down on a piece of paper all the things you want to let go of: beliefs, habits, grudges, whatever comes to mind. Then, in a safe place, burn the paper, or tear it up if you can't burn it. As you watch it burn or tear, visualize all those things leaving your life. It might sound a bit woo-woo, but rituals like this can be surprisingly powerful in signaling to your subconscious that you're ready for change. Another important aspect of letting go is decluttering your physical space. Our outer world often reflects our inner world, and vice versa. If your home or workspace is cluttered and chaotic, it can be hard to feel clear and focused in your mind. Start small. Maybe clean out one drawer or organize one shelf. As you create more physical space, you might find you're also creating more mental and emotional space. Remember, letting go is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. You might find yourself letting go of the same thing multiple times before it finally releases its hold on you. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. Each time you choose to let go, you're creating more space for the new, positive things you want to bring into your life. Letting go can feel scary. We often hold on to things because they're familiar, even if they're not good for us. The unknown can seem frightening. But think of it this way. By holding on to old stuff, you're leaving no room for the new and better things that want to come into your life. Letting go is like opening the windows in a stuffy room. It lets in fresh air and new possibilities. Now that you've started to become more self-aware and you're practicing letting go, it's time to talk about a skill that will supercharge your transformation: mindfulness. You've probably heard this word before, maybe in the context of meditation or yoga. But mindfulness isn't just for monks or yogis. It's a practical, powerful tool that you can use every day to change your life. So what exactly is mindfulness? Simply put, it's the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of where you are and what you're doing, without getting overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around you. It's about experiencing life directly, without the constant commentary of your mind. You see, most of us spend a lot of time either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. We're rarely fully present in the here and now. But here's the thing. The present moment is the only place where you have the power to make changes. You can't change the past, and you can't control the future. But you can choose how you respond to what's happening right now. One of the easiest ways to start practicing mindfulness is through your breath. Your breath is always with you, and it's always happening in the present moment. Try this. Take a deep breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs. Then breathe out slowly, noticing how your body relaxes. Do this a few times, really focusing on the sensation of breathing. Congratulations, you've just practiced mindfulness. You can bring this kind of awareness to any activity in your daily life. When you're eating, really taste your food. Notice the flavors, the textures, the temperature. When you're walking, feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the movement of your body, the air on your skin. When you're talking to someone, really listen to what they're saying instead of thinking about what you're going to say next. Mindfulness can be especially powerful when you're dealing with difficult emotions. Let's say you're feeling angry or anxious. Instead of trying to push the feeling away or getting caught up in it, try this. Notice where you feel the emotion in your body. Is there tightness in your chest? A knot in your stomach? Just observe these sensations without judging them. Often, you'll find that simply observing your emotions mindfully can help them pass more quickly. One common misconception about mindfulness is that it's about emptying your mind of all thoughts. That's not the goal, and it's not really possible anyway. Your mind is designed to think. That's its job. Mindfulness is about changing your relationship with your thoughts. Instead of getting caught up in every thought that passes through your mind, you learn to observe your thoughts without automatically believing or acting on them. Practicing mindfulness can have profound effects on your life. It can reduce stress, improve your focus, and help you make better decisions. It can also help you break free from negative thought patterns and habits. When you're mindful, you create a little space between stimulus and response. And in that space lies your power to choose how you want to react. Start small with your mindfulness practice. Maybe set a reminder on your phone to take 3 mindful breaths every hour. Or choose one daily activity, like brushing your teeth or washing dishes, to do mindfully. The key is consistency. A few minutes of mindfulness every day is much more effective than an hour once a week. Remember, mindfulness is a skill. Like any skill, it takes practice. There will be times when you forget to be mindful, when you get caught up in your thoughts or emotions. That's okay. The moment you realize you've been on autopilot is itself a moment of mindfulness. Just gently bring your attention back to the present moment and carry on. As you cultivate mindfulness in your daily life, you'll start to notice changes. You might find yourself reacting less and responding more. You might start to enjoy simple moments that you used to rush through. You might even start to see yourself and the world around you in a whole new way. This is the power of mindfulness. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes how you experience your entire life. Now that we've explored self-awareness, letting go, and mindfulness, it's time to dive into a powerful aspect of personal transformation, connecting with something bigger than yourself. This step is about expanding your perspective and finding a sense of purpose that goes beyond your individual wants and needs. When we talk about connecting with something bigger, we're not necessarily talking about religion, although for some people that might be part of it. This connection can take many forms. It might be a sense of unity with nature, a commitment to a cause you believe in, or a feeling of being part of the vast tapestry of human experience. The key is to find something that gives your life a sense of meaning and context. Why is this important? Well, when we're solely focused on ourselves, our problems, our desires, our insecurities, our world can feel very small and our problems very big. But when we connect to something larger, it can put our personal struggles into perspective. It can give us strength during difficult times and a sense of direction when we feel lost. One way to start connecting with something bigger is through nature. Spend time outdoors, whether it's in a local park, a nearby forest, or even just your backyard. Pay attention to the trees, the sky, the birds. Feel the breeze on your skin. Recognize that you're part of this vast, intricate ecosystem. This can be a profoundly humbling and awe-inspiring experience. Another powerful way to connect is through service to others. When we help others, we often find that we're helping ourselves as well. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Maybe it's volunteering at a local food bank, helping a neighbor with their groceries, or simply being a good listener for a friend in need. These acts of kindness can give us a sense of purpose and connection to our community. For some people, connecting with something bigger might involve exploring spiritual or philosophical ideas. This could mean reading books on different belief systems, attending talks or workshops, or engaging in discussions about life's big questions. The goal isn't to find all the answers, but to open your mind to different perspectives and ways of understanding the world. Meditation can also be a powerful tool for connecting with something bigger. As you quiet your mind and turn your attention inward, you might start to sense a deeper part of yourself. Some call it the soul or the higher self. This part of you feels connected to everything else. Even just a few minutes of quiet reflection each day can help you tap into this sense of connection. Remember, connecting with something bigger isn't about escaping your life or ignoring your problems. It's about finding a broader context for your experiences. It's about recognizing that you're part of something vast and beautiful, even when your immediate circumstances might be challenging. As you practice connecting with something bigger, you might find that your priorities start to shift. Things that used to bother you might not seem as important anymore. You might feel a greater sense of peace and purpose. And you might find that this connection gives you strength and resilience you didn't know you had. Now that we've laid the groundwork with self-awareness, letting go, mindfulness, and connecting with something bigger, it's time to talk about action. Because while inner work is crucial, true transformation also requires us to make changes in our outer world. But here's the key. We're not talking about just any action. We're talking about inspired action. This is action that comes from a place of alignment with your true self and your deeper purpose. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you think you should do. It's about taking steps that feel right, that energize you, that move you in the direction of your dreams. So how do you know if an action is inspired? Pay attention to how it feels. Inspired action often feels exciting, even if it's also a little scary. It feels like you're moving in the right direction, even if you're not sure of all the steps. It's the difference between dragging yourself to the gym because you think you should and going for a hike because you love how it makes you feel. One way to start taking inspired action is to listen to your intuition. We all have an inner voice, a gut feeling that tries to guide us. But often, we ignore it in favor of what we think is logical or what others expect of us. Start paying attention to those inner nudges. When you have a decision to make, check in with yourself. How does each option feel in your body? Sometimes, your body knows what's right for you before your mind does. Another important aspect of taking inspired action is starting small. Big changes can feel overwhelming, which often leads to procrastination. Instead, break your goals down into tiny, manageable steps. Want to write a book? Start by writing for just 5 minutes a day. Want to start a business? Begin by doing one small thing to move towards that goal each day. These small actions build momentum and confidence over time. It's also crucial to remember that taking inspired action doesn't mean everything will always go smoothly. You'll face obstacles and setbacks. That's normal and it's okay. The key is to see these challenges not as signs that you're on the wrong path, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Every setback is teaching you something valuable if you're willing to look for the lesson. One powerful way to stay motivated as you take action is to visualize your goals. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself living the life you want to create. How does it feel? What does your day look like? The more vividly you can imagine it, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind, and the more inspired you'll feel to take action towards it. Remember, taking inspired action is not about being busy all the time. It's about being effective. Sometimes, the most powerful action you can take is to rest, to give yourself time to recharge and reconnect with your inner guidance. Listen to your body and your intuition. If you're feeling burnout, it might be time to step back and reassess. As you start taking inspired action, you might find that opportunities start appearing in unexpected places. This is because you're now aligned with your true self and your deeper purpose. You're sending out a different energy into the world, and the world is responding. Stay open to these opportunities, even if they don't look exactly like what you thought you were looking for. As you embark on this journey of personal transformation, it's important to recognize that you will face challenges along the way. This is not a smooth, straight path. It's more like a winding road with ups and downs, twists and turns. But understanding these challenges and knowing how to navigate them can make all the difference in your success. One of the biggest challenges you might face is self-doubt. As you start to make changes in your life, that little voice in your head might start piping up with thoughts like, "Who do you think you are?" Or, "You can't really change." This is normal. It's your old self, your old patterns trying to keep you in your comfort zone. Remember, doubt is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's often a sign that you're growing and challenging yourself. To overcome self-doubt, try this. Acknowledge the doubt, but don't engage with it. Thank your mind for trying to protect you, but remind yourself that you're capable of growth and change. Then, focus on taking the next small step forward. Action is often the best antidote to doubt. Another common challenge is the temptation to fall back into old habits. Change can be uncomfortable, and there might be times when you find yourself slipping back into familiar patterns, even if they're not good for you. This is where self-compassion comes in. Instead of beating yourself up for slipping, recognize that it's part of the process. Gently guide yourself back to your new path. You might also face resistance from others as you start to change. Sometimes, the people around us can feel threatened or uncomfortable when we start to grow. They might, consciously or unconsciously, try to pull you back to your old ways. Remember, their reaction is about them, not you. Stay committed to your path, but also have compassion for others. They might need time to adjust to the new you. One of the most insidious challenges is the expectation of overnight success. We live in a world of instant gratification, and it's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But real, lasting change takes time. It's like planting a seed. You have to nurture it consistently over time before you see the plant break through the soil. Trust the process and celebrate small victories along the way. Another challenge you might face is overwhelm. When you start on this journey of transformation, you might feel like there's so much to change, so much to do. This can lead to paralysis, not knowing where to start, so you don't start at all. Remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Focus on one small area at a time. Progress in one area often leads to natural shifts in others. Finally, you might face the challenge of maintaining motivation over the long term. Initial enthusiasm can fade, and you might find yourself wondering if it's all worth it. This is where connecting with your deeper why becomes crucial. Remind yourself regularly why you started this journey. What kind of life are you creating? How will these changes impact not just you, but those around you? Keeping this bigger picture in mind can help you stay motivated even when the going gets tough. Remember, these challenges are not obstacles to your journey. They are part of the journey. Each challenge you face and overcome makes you stronger, more resilient, and brings you closer to the person you want to become. Embrace them as opportunities for growth. As we come to the end of this exploration of personal transformation, it's important to remember that this is not really an end at all. The journey you're embarking on is ongoing, a lifelong process of growth, learning, and becoming. We've covered a lot of ground, from understanding the mirror principle and how your inner world shapes your outer reality, to practical steps like cultivating self-awareness, letting go of what no longer serves you, practicing mindfulness, connecting with something bigger than yourself, and taking inspired action. We've also looked at the challenges you might face along the way and how to overcome them. But here's the beautiful truth. This is just the beginning. The person you are today, reading these words, is not the same person you'll be tomorrow, or next week, or next year. Every day, with every choice you make, you're creating yourself anew. You have the power to continually evolve, to keep expanding your vision of what's possible for you. Remember, transformation isn't about reaching a final, perfect state. It's about embracing the journey itself. It's about waking up each day with curiosity about who you might become. It's about being willing to step out of your comfort zone, to face your fears, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep growing no matter what. As you move forward on your journey, be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Learn to find joy in the process of becoming, not just in reaching goals. And remember that you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together, each of us on our own path of growth and transformation. So, what's your next step? Maybe it's starting a daily mindfulness practice. Maybe it's having that conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's taking the first small action towards a big dream. Whatever it is, know that you have everything you need within you to take that step. You are the author of your own life story. With each passing moment, you have the power to write a new chapter, to create a life filled with purpose, joy, and meaning. The journey of transformation is calling you. Are you ready to answer? Remember, the most beautiful thing about you is your capacity to grow, to change, to become. Embrace this journey of transformation. Trust the process. And above all, believe in yourself and the incredible potential that lies within you. Your journey of transformation starts now, in this very moment. What will you do with it?